Everywhere the art of the distiller is celebrated, the true masterpieces enjoy pride of place. Great spirits are not a product of chance. They are the artifacts of science, of craft, and of the passage of time. Many also become building blocks in the hands of a maestro in the art of mixology, a composer who takes a number of individual spirits and liqueurs to create an edifice greater than the sum of its parts. Old Mutual Trophy Spirits Show is the only internationally recognized competition in South Africa exclusively focused on distilled products and liqueurs. Describing the rigor of its judging methodology gives context to the achievements of its laureates.
With South African consumers wanting to know more and wanting to understand spirits, this competition definitely has a seat at the table to guide consumers through their choices.
All samples are judged blind, labels out of sight. After the judges have scored a class, they must discuss and agree a final result for every sample in front of them. All gold medal winners are reviewed at a separate trophy judging, where an additional external judge adds input to the final assessment. The highest average score determines the trophy winner in the class. The highest overall score within a category, the best spirit overall.
I have to say, I think it is a measure of the commitment of Old Mutual to the craft side of the South African wine and spirits industry that we're even doing this today. And when that comes back, we will know that the economy is back on track and that the producers of fine wines and spirits are back in the game.
Join us on a voyage of discovery as we share the achievements of some of the planet's greatest distillers, several from South Africa, others from all over the world, as we reveal the trophy and gold medal winners of the 2020 Old Mutual Trophy Spirits Show. Consider the art and science which goes into making a great tequila. To make a spirit which expresses absolute authenticity, you must source the finest ingredients, cook and extract them correctly, and understand perfectly the craft of multiple distillations.
This year, for the first time, we have a tequila trophy winner, the Olmeca Altos Reposado.
By the same token, you cannot produce the finest gin without combining the best and purest spirit with carefully composed botanicals. And you cannot build a brand unless you are able to repeat this achievement over and over again, all the time and for every batch.
I was quite amazed at the diversity of the products as well as the delicate balance of most of the products. So I think the South African market is actually spoiled for choice when it comes to gin and craft gin specifically.
This year we have a gold medal in the flavoured gin category, Malfi Gin Rosa, as well as a trophy winner for the show's best flavoured gin, the Whitley Neal Aloe and Cucumber Gin. In the distilled gin class, there were 3 gold medalists, from the Happy Valley Distillery, the Wildcraft Equinox 79 Gin, from Malfi in Italy, the Malfi Gin Originale, and from Gonzalez Beeth in Spain, the London No. 1. We also, of course, have a trophy winner in this class. The Old Mutual Trophy for the show's best distilled gin is awarded to Cape Fynbos. We now move on to the London Gin class, where the unique flavour is introduced exclusively through the redistillation of the various botanicals in traditional stills. The gold medalist in this class is the Beefeater 24. Remarkably, the trophy winner comes from the same distillery. The Old Mutual Trophy for the show's best London gin goes to Beefeater for its London Dry Gin.
The art of an aged brandy begins with the right grape varieties, planted where they can ripen while still retaining freshness, so that the base wine expresses purity and linearity. While copper pot distillation magnifies the virtues, it can also reveal the faults. So only the best and purest wines can be selected for this process. Almost all great brandies are double distilled, with only the heart of the spirit saved for aging in oak casks. There's craft and science to getting this right. Then, and only then, can the work of time begin.
I think a very fair reflection of the high quality of brandies that are available. So many of them very well integrated, lovely fruit and wood aging balance. A couple of young brandies that stood out in terms of the integration, and then some really spectacular aged brandies as well.
I was quite surprised with the amount of brandies entered and the spectrum of the open category, which was judged as a one category. And I must admit, there's very small margins between cheaper brandies and the more exclusive brandies.
We come now to the brandy categories, beginning with the pot distilled class, where we have a gold medal award to the Warwick Wine Estate for the 8-cake 10-year-old Grand Reserve, as well as a trophy winner for the show's best pot distilled brandy, the Viceroy 5-year-old. We move on now to the Vintage Brandy Trophy, where the recipient this year of the Old Mutual Trophy for the competition's best vintage brandy is Van Ryan's for the single pot still 12-year-old. The Old Mutual Trophy for the show's best cognac is awarded to the highest scoring brandy produced in the Cognac district of France. And this year's winner is Cognac Frappin for the Chateau Fontpinot XO.
All whiskies begin with the choice of grain. What happens to this most basic ingredient is the perfect interaction of nature, craft, and the elapse of time. If there's barley, has it been malted? If it's to be malted, has it been malted in the presence of peat smoke? And if so, how much? When and how to distill the fermented wash? How many distillations? Which oak barrels and from where? Were they previously used? If so, for bourbon, wine, or sherry? And then, after time has wrought its magic, there's the craft of composing the final masterpiece.
Dominant category would have to be the grains, specifically the single grains and the single cask, single grain whiskies that were there. Hugely dominant, superbly balanced, and they really dominated the whole field.
And a big range of blended whiskies, from peated whiskies, fruity ones, spicy ones, a big variation. And then we went over to a huge class of single malts where the variation and the differences was even more. It was a very good lineup, and I think internationally wise it was stand up to the best of the whiskies that we've ever tasted.
As always, there was a strong entry of whiskies from around the world, and therefore a number of gold medals and trophies across a number of classes and categories. The gold medal for blended whisky is awarded to Chivas Regal for the Chivas Regal Extra, while the Old Mutual Trophy for the best blended whisky goes to Three Ships for its 9-year-old Fino Cask Finish limited release. There was a particularly strong grain whisky entry, which yielded 2 gold medals as well as a trophy. Gold medals were awarded to Bain's Founders Collection 15-year-old special release, and also to Bain's Founders Collection 18-year-old Fino Cask Finish special release. The Old Mutual Trophy for the best grain whisky completes a trio for Bain's. It goes to Bain's for the Founders Collection 18-year-old Oloroso Cask Finish special release. The Pure Pot Still class also has a trophy laureate. This year's award goes to Green Spot for the single pot still Irish whisky. Now to the malt whisky category. The gold medal is awarded to Aberlour for the 16-year-old Highland single malt Scotch whisky, while the trophy for the best single malt is awarded to the Whiskey Brothers selection of the Benriach 2007.
We come now to the best of the best, to those spirit masterpieces which even in the company of trophy winners stand above the rest, the apogee and zenith of spirit greatness. the trophies for the overall category winners of the 2020 Old Mutual Trophy Spirits Show.
The Riedel Trophy for the Best Gin of Show is awarded to Beefeater London Dry Gin. The trophy for the show's Best Brandy is presented to Cognac Frappin for the Chateau Fontpinot XO. And the trophy for the Best Whisky at the 2020 Old Mutual Trophy Spirit Show goes to the Three Ships Cask Matured 9-year-old Fino Cask Finish, limited release.